Syria killed or wounded in 2 terrorist blasts by Takfiri forces which targeted the Iranian Embassy in Beirut. Syria strongly denounces the cowardly terrorist attack and affirms that combating and confronting terrorism is the duty of all peoples in the world. The Syrian Arab army tightens control over Qara after eliminating terrorist gatherings and seizes a terrorist hideout in Nahr Aisha. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our news for today. 23 people were killed and more than 146 wounded in 2 suicide terrorist blasts near the Iranian Embassy in Bir Hassan al-Janah neighborhood in southern Beirut today. Lebanese security source said the first explosion was carried out by a suicide bomber who detonated himself with an explosive belt. The second happened 1 minute later at a distance of 10 meters from the embassy. The explosive device that blew up weighed about 100 kilograms. The blast claimed the lives of Lebanese as well as non-Lebanese citizens. A big damage was inflicted on public and private properties. A large number of cars were burned down. The Lebanese Minister of Agriculture, Hussein al-Haj Hassan, and Member of Parliament, Ali Ammar, inspected the sites of the explosions, branding the terrorist operation as targeting Lebanon's security and stability. According to Lebanese sources, the double blasts were documented by the observation cameras on the site of the incident. The Iranian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Mardiya Afkham today denounced the 2 blasts that occurred in the Lebanese capital as an ugly crime that indicated the hatred of the Zionists and their agents. In a statement today, Afkham said that according to reports, the Iranian culture advisor Sheikh Ibrahim al-Ansari was killed and another number of Lebanese and non-Lebanese citizens were either killed or injured. Afkham offered condolences to the families of the killed and wounded. She said the Iranian Foreign Ministry would closely follow up with the utmost attention this incident in view of the fact that the 2 explosions took place near the Iranian embassy. The Iranian Ambassador to Lebanon, Ghazanfar Roknabadi, has announced the death of the cultural advisor at the Iranian Embassy, Sheikh Ibrahim al-Ansari, in the 2 terrorist blasts that occurred in Bir Hassan, south of Beirut. In an interview with Al-Manar channel, Abadi offered his condolences over the death of a number of Lebanese citizens in these 2 terrorist blasts, pointing out that such an ugly crime was the result of Iran's firm principled stance in support of the resistance against the Israeli project. He added that his country was a state of principle, not of interest, and such terrorist acts had no impact on it. The Syrian Arab Republic has strongly denounced the terrorist attack that occurred in Beirut this morning against the Iranian embassy. In a statement, the Syrian government said this cowardly act reflected the involvement of the terrorism sponsors, protectors and advocates in the region and their insistence on spreading terrorism in practice and culture in order to threaten the region's security and future. The statement affirmed that combating and confronting terrorism was the duty of all world peoples and governments, and that the involvement of any state in such terrorist acts was a sufficient cause for the world community to face up to it. The Syrian government, the statement added, calls on the Lebanese people to close ranks and protect their national unity in the face of terrorism. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has announced Moscow's effort to hold the Geneva II conference, voicing the need for the participation of all Syrian societies' factions in such conference. In a joint press conference with his Belarus counterpart, Vladimir Maki, Lavrov said that Russia and the USA had agreed on the need to hold the Geneva II without preconditions. The Russian Foreign Minister said Moscow had expressed readiness to host various sides of the Syrian opposition and welcomed the National Coalition's acceptance of the invitation to take part in this meeting. Iranian Assistant Foreign Minister Hussein Amir Abdullahian has said supporting Syria in the fight against terrorism is the task of the international community as a whole. He expressed regret over the ongoing supplies of weapons provided by certain sides to the armed terrorist groups in Syria. In a press conference he held in Moscow, Abdullahian reiterated Iran's and Russia's support for a political solution to the crisis in Syria, stressing that the most important step to be taken was to halt the violence. Abdullahian said Iran's assistance to Syria would continue, pointing out that his country would undoubtedly play an effective role in settling the crisis in Syria. He added that no state had the right to decide for the Syrian people. Referring to his meeting with the Deputy Foreign and Expatriates Minister Dr. Faisal al-Muqdad, Abdullahian said he discussed with Dr. Muqdad a number of issues, adding that his country offered Syria a humanitarian assistance in the value of €1 billion approximately. Welcome back. On the ground in Damascus countryside, a military source said that Syrian Arab army units maintained full control over the town of Qara, eliminating the last terrorist gatherings there and destroying their criminal weapons. Material damage has been inflicted on the Umayyad Mosque and a number of citizens' houses when mortar shells fired by terrorists fell on Al-Hamidiyya, Al-Tijara and Al-Abbasiyin neighborhoods in Damascus. A Damascus police command source said a mortar shell fell on the inside part of the wall of the Umayyad Mosque. Material damage was caused, but no casualties were reported. The shell that fell in Aleppo Street in Al-Abbasiyin neighborhood inflicted damage on a number of cars and houses. The source added that the terrorists also targeted with mortar shells citizens' houses east of Al-Tijara neighborhood, causing material damage. In Damascus, 9 citizens were injured in an attack by terrorists who fired 2 mortar shells on the areas of Al-Abbasiyin and Baghdad Street. 1 mortar shell landed near the Red Crescent Hospital in Baghdad Street, wounding 6 civilians and inflicting material damage in the place. Another mortar shell landed behind Zayd bin al-Khattab School in Al-Abbasiyin, injuring 3 civilians and damaging a number of shops and cars. In Idlib countryside, the bodies of 4 terrorists were found east of Saraqib. The terrorists had been kidnapped 5 days ago by the so-called the Islamic State in Iraq and the Sham. The bodies were identified to be of the terrorists Ali al-Ali, nicknamed as Ali al-Anani, Amjad Hilal, Jamal Qarqout and Ata Khalid al-Akil. In Aleppo, 4 civilians were killed and 10 others injured in a terrorist attack by 2 rockets on the municipal palace in the city. Syrian Arab army units seized a terrorist hideout in the farms of Bayadir Nadar in Nahr Aisha in Damascus countryside. Syrian TV camera accompanied Syrian Arab army soldiers while combing the area of Nahr Aisha. The terrorist hideout was discovered in the farms of Bayadir Nadar, including a large quantity of weapons and ammunition. Finally, the pulse of life continues in Syria as the artists, in cooperation with the students and under the patronage of the Ministry of Education, rushed to decorate their schools by using recycled material.
Despite all the misery Syria is living, their hands drawn a new sunrise to make smiles shine on our faces. This is the second project we are doing in Damascus, and it's a mural. The first one was at Al-Tijara in Bassam's Hamsha School. It was 200 meters long. The name of the mural is The Beat of Life. Consists from industrial and environmental leftovers like ceramic and broken mirrors, and from daily stuff that we don't need it anymore. The Ministry of Education sponsored this event, and all artists that worked in the event are teachers in the ministry. We have an educational, artistic and a humanitarian purpose that can make visual connection between us and the viewers. And we have an educational purpose that we are using to let the students and public know that art doesn't belong in museums only, and to know that when you create something from your surroundings, that's called beauty. Damascus needs such murals because the streets lack colors.
درسنا الموقع واخترنا موقع مدرسة الشهيدة نهلة زيدان.
We chose this spot because it's near Nahla Zaidan school. We have an educational social purpose. The educational goal is placing the kids in an area they are able to see art daily. From ashes the phoenix rise, and from nowhere creativity becomes the stream that feeds our life and soul. Dan Al-Imam for the Syrian National TV News in English.
With this, we end our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Now to latest business and market news with Nariman Qassam, but after a short break.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Sources in the Ministry of Economy and Foreign Trade affirmed that the ministry will discuss exempting some Iranian foodstuff from the customs fees until the end of this year. The sources added that this step came in order to provide the local market with the basic needs in affordable prices. The Director General of the Customs Directorate asserted that increasing the price of cars is related to the security conditions and the instability of the exchange rate of the Syrian pound against the dollar. The director also indicated that about 900 cars were imported this year, as all decisions that are related to importing cars have not changed yet. He added that the importing process was limited only to the public sector, on speculations that the prices of cars will be reduced as soon as the security condition is restored. He also said that the Directorate worked to provide the local market with the needed facilities to increase the customs revenues. The trading value of Damascus Securities Exchange is still stable in the first session of this week, as the trading bulk in yesterday's session closed on 42,000 shares with a total trading value of 5.3 million Syrian pounds, distributed on 49 deals. On the other hand, the Syrian International Islamic Bank ranked first with a total trading value reaching about 2.3 million Syrian pounds through 18 deals. The director of the Consumer Protection in Latakia Governorate said that the prices of chicken, meat, vegetables and fruits have declined about 25%, which led in turn to an increase in the citizens' purchase desire. The prices of U.S. crude oil fell for the second day as investors weighed the prospect that the U.S. will taper economic stimulus. Futures lost 0.3%, while Brent for January settlement fell 56 cents to reach nearly $108 a barrel. European stocks dropped for the first time in 4 days, as investors weighed equity valuations after the Stocks Europe 600 index rallied to a 5-year high. US index futures and Asian shares were little changed. The Jewelers Assembly set the price of the 21-carat gold at 5,700 Syrian pounds per gram, while the Rashadi golden coin was set at 42,500 Syrian pounds and the English coin was set at 47,100 Syrian pounds. The US dollar fell for the second day versus the yen on speculation that the Federal Reserve speakers may reiterate economic growth, which isn't yet sufficient to trim stimulus. Ladies and gentlemen, this was our economic news for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.